What's up guys, Cali Sunset Gaming with you again, and today we're going to be talking about FIFA 22 and its new and improved player career mode. As some of you guys may know, I was lucky enough to get the chance to play the beta last month, and player career mode was actually a mode that I wanted to spend a lot of time with. I was really excited just to see the changes they had made and how they plan to reinvigorate this for the players of FIFA 22. So let's take a deep dive into this mode and see where we end up. I think it's best that first of all I give you my experience with the player career mode so that you know where I'm coming from. Oh man, on a side note, this footage is from FIFA 21 because I don't want to get pulled for copyright, but I will be discussing FIFA 22 and its player career mode. So if this annoys you, just close your eyes and listen to my sweet, succulent voice. Succulent, what the fuck? I played a lot of player career modes over the years, and while some of you may reel back in disgust, a few of those career mode experiences have been on PES. As a result, over the time, I've seen a lot of different ways of doing it. Some great, some not so great. Before I go any further in this video, guys, don't forget to smash a like on it and also consider hitting subscribe if you enjoy the content. FIFA seemed to stand on the doorstep of greatness at one point. Alex Hunter's journey on some of the older FIFAs took like a 2K career mode style approach, with a rich storyline on your rise to superstar after making your way up the footballing ranks. But since they've been that idea, the player career modes just seem a bit like bare bones, offering barely any difference to what came before Alex Hunter's journey. I'm happy to say this FIFA is different. If they carry that theme on, but allowed you to create your own player, I have no doubt that it will probably be one of the most played game modes within the FIFA community. The reason I've mentioned games like PES is because of the depth some of their older games used to give you. As an example, PES 2010 would have you start as a reserve, the only games that you could play were reserve matches, obviously, and the training games against the first team each week. You develop your stats this way, and over time you eventually make it into the first team as a sub and climb the ranks and become a footballing legend. From there you continue to work your way up, eventually getting into the starting 11, growing your reputation within the club and also worldwide. Callie, why are you talking about old games and PES? Well, imaginary audience member that I've created to allow me to set up my point is because these games came out years ago. EA has a catalogue of games as well as a thriving community to gain inspiration from. But these installments seem very much a case of baby steps rather than huge leap towards that mode that we're all waiting for. That's not to say it's all bad, but I'm just going to explain my experience on the whole and just let you guys be the judge. Creating your player is the same as it has been for the past few FIFAs. There's no real change in terms of customization options, which is not really a massive issue, I guess. You can start at whatever team you like, and I picked Chelsea just because I was interested to see the new mechanics and how they worked whilst you're playing for a top flight team. Let me explain. The game time system has changed from previous FIFAs, which is probably the biggest improvement to the mode in my opinion. Now, as you progress throughout your career, you have a manager's confidence level that you can see in the top left hand corner of your screen when you're on the menu hub of the career mode. Play well in games, the confidence will go up. Perform well in training, which is the same sort of like select 4 drills and sim it once you've got a decent rank method that we've had in the last few FIFAs, and the confidence will go up. Now, on the face of it, this is a really cool addition. Here's where it starts to break down a bit. I got into the first team over Mason Mount after about 2 months. I did this just by performing well in training, which was no effort, because like I said, once I got an A grade, I just started simming him. The confidence levels shoot up if you plan your training sessions well, which is fine, but when you're at a big club and the expectations are on all players to just perform at their maximum every single day, would you really be walking into the first team after being able to kick a ball into a bucket in a training session? This can be so easily resolved by just having the growth for completing the training much lower than what it currently is, because honestly, when you get on the game and you eventually see how highly the manager rates you just performing well in training, you'll realise that something's slightly off. Now, before you all sort of like jump on this and just start saying, hold on, it's a beta. I know this is a beta, but like I said before, it's very much a case of this being pretty much bang on the final product, barring a few cosmetic differences. There's not going to be any dramatic changes from the information that I'm giving you now and the game that you're going to play on release date. Now, a caveat to this manager confidence level is the substitute feature, which is almost mental that I'm calling it a feature, because it's like 2021, and we're talking about being subbed on in a football game. Due to the manager confidence level, you can come on as a sub. And most of your early games for the club will be this way. On the match lobby, you'll see the current score, and essentially you're just jumping into a game. The game loads up and you get like a little cutscene of your player being given instructions by the manager, which is really cool. And you're given objectives you need to achieve in the remainder of the game. Similar to what it was like for Alex Hunter's journey. So if you guys played that, you'll know that your sort of objectives appear above your head, and then you've got the remainder of the game to try and influence the play. The only issue, there's no real rhyme or reason to this. I came on my debut at 17 years old, 2-1 down against Liverpool, and Tuchel asked me to score the equaliser and complete 5 passes. I'm a centre mid. The commentary for the player career is really good. They discuss your debut, talk about your games, goals you've scored, the type of player that you are. This is an insane improvement on the previous FIFAs. There's so much more depth to this and it's really refreshing. The skill tree has been maintained from last year's FIFA, but what they've done is they've introduced something called a perk system. And this is what you can spend your skill points on. Perks basically work like buffs and are triggered by different scenarios in a match. Things like stamina boosts when you're a goal down or improved accuracy when striking from range. This almost verges on the edge of being like an RPG, and I actually quite like it. Although there are loads of perks to choose from, you can only ever have 3 at a time depending on what level you are as a player, making you really take time to think about what sort of buffs will best suit your playstyle. One thing that's a bit of a negative is throughout playing my career mode, teams don't make offers for you, and the only way that you can move is by requesting to transfer. Again, it seems crazy that they haven't included teams making offers for you depending on your performances, and there could be so much gained from just having your own little cutscene or, I don't know, development on reports about like people trying to obtain you, teams making bids for you, and you saying that you want to stay. They could build it up and hype it up and it would be insane, but instead they don't really do that. And again, it's another FIFA where if you want to move, you have to make a transfer request. I didn't go deep enough into the career mode to become like a big name player at Chelsea, which is a bit of a shame because I'm really interested to see if they've added any mechanics of like becoming a club legend or like a fan favourite from what I did play. Unfortunately, I didn't see any of this. And based on my experiences from other FIFAs, I can't imagine they've included it. Overall, I feel like a lot of you guys are going to enjoy the steps that have been made in this development of the player career mode. It's clear that they've definitely put more effort into this mode, comparing it to other FIFAs where it's clearly been an afterthought. That said, I still feel as if this is a tiptoe in the right direction rather than a stride, and as a result it won't be long before you feel as if you're just going through the motions on this game mode, which is a crying shame given its potential. What are your thoughts on what you've seen online and what I've said today? Let me know if you're excited for the release and if this is going to be a game mode that you are going to be playing when it does get dropped. Make sure that you guys leave a comment in the comment section below. I really want to know your guys' thoughts, and please don't ask why I signed for Rangers. I did it just because I wanted to see Stevie G and he's not even in the game. What a twat.